That's another thing. So in maximizing your time with the physician, how did it happen? Yeah.
Yes.
Someone said I asked my daughter to explain the last Veggie Tales show, and 2 days later she's still telling me. You know?
Yeah. So that's a very good point, because would you agree that the doctor needs to know just basics? Say like fell off the bed, fell off a 6-foot ladder, car wreck, and some very basics. They don't need to know all the nuances about it.
And if we do, we'll ask.
Yeah.
It was a car accident. Where you passed
trauma right there.
Or was hit by a car. I fell off monkey bars. Monkey bars is huge for us. So It's just, I was on that monkey bars. That's it. Monkey bars. Jumping on the bed. Yeah, it's low energy or high energy injury.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I point that out is that, you want to maximize your time. So how did it happen? Monkey bars. And then, we'll just chat about that and take a look at the x-ray. Or, the leg's been growing crooked and I want to take a look, and we just noticed it. And then you get your x-ray and you take a look at that. Because, as I say, you want to maximize your time. And so your questions, what are our options? Is there anything else that makes sense? How urgent do we need to do this? What else? What might you recommend if there are choices for your family member, or would you do this for a family member? If yes or no, what other options would you do? It's also fair. I've had a number of families ask me, what am I not asking? I think that's a brilliant question.
That's a very good question.
Along with the lines of, if you're not sure what to ask, you say, well, I'm worried about this. What am I not asking? The great thing about that is that itself is a trusting question. Mm-hmm. I'm trusting you to bring out the most important things. And there's times like, well, you haven't asked me if there's any other option, or you haven't asked me, if she'll be back to 100% or 95%.
Mm-hmm.
And as opposed to things that I don't think are worth the time. Don't ask me how many stitches you're gonna take, because I don't know, I'll make it up. I don't know. 11D4.
I wanted to say that. Do you make it up? But
all the time.
Because it's who knows?
I don't know till we're done.
Right.
We often weave a stitch through, so it could be one, like a whole sweater, it's one stitch. Okay. And, if you want to maximize your time, you want to maximize the time, because eventually, we do that walk into the door thing.
Yes.
I'll start walking okay. And we start walking, and that's why I always make sure that no one's between us and the door. I'm sorry, I'm being realistic here, because
yes.
We want to answer your questions, but let's maximize our time.
You're going to have to as doctors, you must balance your time versus the care and concern for the patient, because if the patient doesn't feel valued and cared for and listened to, they're not going to feel good about it. And so it is an art and a science, I'm sure, when you're meeting with the patient, especially if you have a parent or two parents in the room and a child, and it's their first time of a broken bone, and they think it's it's not. I will tell you this, as the mother of somebody who's broken 22 bones, it's very sad and very hard to watch your child in pain. It is concerning. But a broken bone makes a great holiday card, without a doubt. And so when I share that, calls with our customers, they're like, "Oh, you're right." Yes, there are so many other worse things that could happen.
And you should have, the physician, the surgeon also has people in the office. So when you get a cast on, the cast orthopedic technician should also be able to explain this. And this has been shown in some studies that if the rest of the team provides valuable information and confirmatory information, like doctor said, we can't get a waterproof cast. You ask the cast tech, so why can't we get a waterproof cast? And I've had times where they say, well, I don't know, let me check. And they'll check and they go, yeah, actually, I guess you can. Or you should feel free to ask the cast tech about that. Mm-hmm. Our nurses are a critical part. As you're checking out, things come to you ask them, we have to make an appointment in a week. Can you check to see if she can go on her field trip tomorrow? And there should be a way in the office to ask questions. Now electronically, my chart and things like that are really very helpful, but you should be able to on the way, the rest of the visit, get further questions answered so it doesn't all have to be in that one room.